everybody, Pastor Randy here. Welcome to Making It Simple. Great to be with you on a beautiful Tuesday. Hope you're doing well and your week is off to a great start. Going to start a brand new teaching series today. We're just coming out of our last teaching, which was phenomenal. One body. A lot of parts. I hope you'll go back and listen to it. Really, I get encouraged to hear the comments and the different things of people that enjoy the work that I'm trying to put out. As you will see, I'm not a complicated person, and I do my best to do exactly what this program is called. Make it simple. Because, as we will see in this last part, yes, this is the final chapter of The Beauty of Simple, this work that I was blessed to write and put together, and that's what this entire teaching series is about that. If you're interested in wanting to read that or have that, the link is in the description. But the intent of what we do here is to just do that. Keep it simple. We live in a complicated world that is filled with all kinds of things. And so while there are many components of life that are complicated, our faith don't have to be one of them. Our faith is something that should ground us. It should be something that causes us to have hope, causes us to have vision and understanding that there is something better, that this is not the answer, but there's something better. So this very last chapter is simply called Prepared. What does that mean? What does that look like? So today in our first part, our introduction, if you will, I just want to look at a couple of components about how we're going to wrap this up and why this simple message absolutely is so important today. Prepared. The word itself just simply means to make ready or qualified, to equip. For example, I prepared you a meal. I made it ready. Or I am ready. I'm equipped to do the job you've asked me to do. We could use all kinds of different examples, but really what it comes down to is prepared means I can do what I've been asked to do because of what I was taught or shown. In other words, I'm prepared to go forward. In the teachings of Jesus, we find that he was having a conversation with Peter. And this is after Peter's denial. This is after this, after that, whatever the case. And Jesus said to Peter, he said, "Do you love me?" This was a deep question because Peter, of course, having had gone through the denial and all the guilt and the anguish that brought upon him and how he felt about where he had been and what he had done, it was a piercing question. But that wasn't what Jesus was doing. Not at all. He asked this question 3 times. Peter denied him 3 times. So we're getting some clarity as to where this is going. But Jesus wasn't asking him this question repetitively, simply to be repetitive. He was making a gigantic point because after each time he would say, "Do you love me?" Peter would respond, "Well, yes, Lord, you know that I do." And Jesus would reply, "Then feed my sheep." What was he saying? What was going on there? What was the intent? This was a teaching moment. Okay? Jesus was clarifying. He was making a direct, intentional command, comment, whatever he was giving Peter here. He was saying to him, "Feed my sheep." What was he talking about? It was about preparing them for what would be coming later as it pertains to eternity, but also how to live life right now. How are we prepared for this? You see, friends, when we lean into the world's ways to prepare us for something, we're only getting a surface level, a minimum, if you will, of how to get started. But how oftentimes do we get started with something only to find out we don't know anything? We have no idea. That brings me to the main point of this chapter when it comes to preparation. and how it directly is impacted by our level of faith. You see, everybody can have a surface level of faith. They don't have to all be the same. Everybody can have a different idea of what all of this means. But if we think about the concept of what Jesus was saying, feed my sheep, this speaks of spiritual nourishment that will allow us to grow and thrive. You see, it's one thing to be alive. It's another thing to live. Those are two very different things. And we understand that in the concept of living and breathing, right? It's one thing to be alive in the sense of, well, I have oxygen coming into my lungs and function going to my brain, so I'm technically alive. But does that mean that you're living? Those are two different things. I believe in God. I'm living for God. Two completely different things. I'm teaching about God. I'm introducing you to God. Two very different things. Feed my sheep. So Jesus wasn't asking Peter to go and give the old worn out, tired messages that had been passed down. No. He was saying, introduce people to me. Feed. Give the nourishment and the spiritual necessities. My. Very important word there. My sheep. Sheep follow. Jesus said, follow me. You see how this is beginning to tie together? So as we journey through the last parts of this teaching, I really want us to, really get a zero-in focus on this simple but yet profound message, this simple gospel message. Jesus, as we've shown through every lesson in this writing, every lesson, and especially in this last one when we were together in one body, Jesus made it so simple. It's just not complicated, friends. So here's my question. If Jesus didn't complicate it, why should we? I want you to think about that for a minute. You can hear a lot of stuff, and especially within the ministry circles, you can hear a ton of stuff. And you can walk away perplexed. You can walk away confounded. You can walk away angry. You can walk away scratching your head. You can walk away saying, I don't get it. Or you can walk away saying, wow, I never thought about that before. I never really realized the personal nature of this message, the personal nature of the intent, the understanding of God's love to me. Because when we begin to understand that, friends, and I'm telling you, this message is profound, and I don't know why more people won't gravitate to this. When we begin to understand the nature of the heart of God, the heart of the Father, the love of God, when we begin to understand that, it should put our heart at ease. It should bring us a peace that indeed, as Scripture says, passes all understanding, because it starts to make sense. It's not about trying to figure out all the theology of things and where did this word come from, who said this, and who was king in this year, and who did. History is great. I love history. History paints a picture. History begins to put the puzzle together. History forms things. But here's the real heart of it all. Why? Why does it matter? That brings us back to prepared. What is the intent of the message that God has given forth for us through Scripture? What is the meaning? What is the intent of that? It is to prepare us for what He's asked us to do. It is to prepare us for eternity. It is to prepare us for how to live life now, love God, love one another. I just did a profound, and I'm using that word a lot today, but it really was teaching on that this past Sunday. it doesn't mean exactly what we've been taught. There's so much more to it. It's not a watered down side of it. It's incredible. And I want to do that teaching sometime back here on Making It Simple. But we're going to be finishing up, wrapping up, keeping it simple here very soon. The beauty of simple very soon. Over the next several lessons, we're going to be looking at prepared. So I pray that this is going to be a blessing to you, because being prepared means being ready. And we're going to talk about that more when we come back here tomorrow for more Making It Simple. God bless you. Have a great day.